you're talking about marriage. And if we're already having issues with men marrying, what makes you think that he's going to want to marry a woman who already has a man? It seems like you're more thinking about sleeping with a woman. So yeah, he's open to sleeping with a woman, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's open to marrying this woman. Better yet, if she already has a husband, he'll sleep with her for sure, but he's not going to marry her. And I think that that's the issue.
I think that's part of it, but I think so, Louise. Unfortunately, some men have been like programmed to look at women a very specific way. And I think the same way that men have become increasingly frustrated that women no longer understand their nature, I think the same is true when it comes to women. I think there's a lot of fallacies that have been taught to men that like men no longer understand a woman's true nature, because the man a woman wants and the man a woman needs are not always the same thing, right? Women will opt to marry the man that they need, knowing that the man that they want isn't good for them. That being said, they're regularly sleeping with the man that they want. They're trying to attain marriage from the man that they need. But somehow, because of the attempt to preserve a woman's virtue, because like we want to hold women to the standard that they don't live in anymore, we assume that the man that she wants is the man that she needs, and we reverse it. Women are sleeping with men who are physically attractive. Women are sleeping with men who pay them a little bit of attention or fill a void, or women are literally sleeping with men for any reason at this point. If we're honest, it can be as simple as she's just bored, right? Like that is the point that like women have reached a level of sexual liberation where whether it's shamed or not, they're still engaging in sexual behavior with pretty much anybody at this point. But they're not marrying because they don't want to marry anybody other than the man that they need. The man that's going to give them social status, that's going to give them financial stability, that's going to give them emotional intelligence, that's going to be a good father, he's going to be attractive. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, women, if we're honest, women are just running amok right now. And I understand men's hesitation in terms of marrying women because you can't really tell the good women from the wild women at this point, right? But if we're honest, this is really women's nature, like unabashed, to be just reckless like this. I think in the past, society has functioned in a way to keep women in line that just isn't happening anymore.
But they'll try to sell you this idea that no, this is not happening and stuff like that, trying to pull the wool over your eye.
So I just want to get on record, Enos. You're saying on June 25th, 2023, women are out of order. I just want to get that on record.
I've been saying that for months. I don't understand why this
okay, I just want those words. I'm just marking it down. Okay, cool. I'm working on you next, Miss Taken. I'm just listening today.
No, I just think everybody's out of order. I don't think it's just
No, I need to nail it down to women specifically. I'll get you there. We'll get you there.
Yeah. Women are and men are. That's why you see the results that we have right now. Because if at least one group was in order, we wouldn't have this situation. So it specifically, both men and women are out of order. If women were in order, you wouldn't have out of wedlock kids and all of that kind of stuff that comes along with that. If men were in order, you wouldn't have out of wedlock kids and everything that come along with that as well. So men and women both are out of order.
So this is where I completely agree. This is probably the only point where I completely agree with the manosphere. Women control access to sex. So until they get in order, we will continue to see what we see today. Period.
AP,
because men are gonna smash. Like there's no way around it.
That's like, my point. Everybody's
that's what I'm saying.
operating on their lower selves, period. Women are operating on their lower selves. Men are operating on their lower selves. If everybody's operating
normally
on their higher self, which is self-control, if they were operating under a level of self-control, this would not be happening. Everybody's operating on the feel good, the I want access. I'm gonna do it because I want to. I want to be happy. Like everybody's operating from that level. But when you begin to raise the expectations for yourself, when you begin to raise or begin to gain a level of self-control over your flesh, then all of this would not be happening. So even if you put it on women and say, oh, women give access to sex, but men have just as much say so as to whether or not they would engage in that. Don't put it on your biology.
What you're missing is
You can say
what you're missing is we will operate like that, period. Like is if you guys don't, like, if the women don't control their reproductive organs, we're going to just keep behaving like men behave. It is up, like it's literally up to you guys. Like that's where the control came from. That was the check and the balance. Y'all wouldn't just give it to anybody. Now that you just give it to anybody, shit, we take it. Now my thought is that men need to protect their seed, which is why I always have preached safe sexual contact. Outside of that, I can't, like, Trigger Mike had sold me on the idea. I'm going to give Trigger Mike credit for this. That men, this is the way we operate. It is our nature, period. We're just going to go hit anything for the most part. I mean, for the most part. But they're like, you guys are the checks. You saying, no, I require marriage. No, I'm not going to open my legs until you give, like, until these things are met. Then men will meet those things. But until that, unless you require it, we don't give a damn.
I got a question.
That's our normal mode of operation.
I got a question. So do you think, and please do not take offense to this.
I won't.
Why is it that, do you think that other races of men have more discipline than we do?
Nope.
So why don't they have the same mistakes?
Excellent
Why are their
question.
kids not born out of wedlock?
That is an excellent question.
Go ahead, Trigger Mike. The floor is yours, sir. I yield my time for you.
So, so the other men do not have discipline or more discipline. When you look at what really keeps men in check, it's culture and religion. I really don't know how to separate the two. It's one or the other. In every culture around the world, there is shame. There is shame for misbehavior, which keeps people in check. And it all really revolves around. That's why I said there is absolutely no way to check this birthing problem we have without checking the women. This is why whenever we get into a hedonistic culture of some sort, the way you have to put the father back at the head of the family, and you have to put a chastity belt on your daughters. That is how you get society to run the right way. Men will never in life ever stop trying to hit the skins. You'll never stop it. So you put a father in the way, you put protection around the girl, and you show the girl her worth. If you want to put a title on the problem that we have as a society with the women, we have a self-worth problem. Women do not think they are worth. A woman that is giving up sex too easily has a self-worth problem. So you teach girls their worth. You know what they ultimately want. You know what's better for them, meaning they get a man, they get protection. They get someone in the home giving them all of their provision that's dedicated to them and the children they have. So you say, how does a girl get this? Keep her legs closed and deny the men who are trying to sleep with you, and you become the most valuable woman in the room every time.
So I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my backup question would be: so are you saying in your statement that most women of other races are virgins when they marry their husbands and they're not having unprotected sex?
You know what I will say? I don't know. There's no way to quantify that, right? What I will say is I believe white women are far more promiscuous than black women in this country. If you ever been around white girls,
I
but
agree.
every dude here will tell you they're not promiscuous with their vagina
And I just wanted to add this to your previous point. You
because they
said,
don't want to be seen as somebody with a birthing problem. You know what I mean? So
Shan,
I'm
you
sorry,
said
let him finish. I was confused. Wait, y'all give him a sec. Give him a second. Run that by me again, because something just come through.
So,
Yeah,
so
I was confused.
so so if you ever been to a white school, white high school, and you push up on a white girl, there's a lot of things she will do, but you just can't have full-on intercourse with her. So if you look at it, black girls lead underage out of wedlock birth, right? Like before the age of 22. That's because, and as promiscuous as white girls are, every man can tell you they're far more promiscuous. They are down to get down way earlier, but not always with sexual intercourse. They will do a lot of different things, but they understand that their value goes down significantly if they birth a child before they're married.
Well, they just get abortions.
Sure. Whatever we want to call it, I can't quantify all that. But what I'm saying is that we need to understand as a culture that the value is in chastity for women, or at least the appearance of chastity, if I'm making sense.
Yeah, because there's mad white girls that's always giving it up. But I agree with you.
That's a fact.
They do not allow them to have as many kids.
I agree.
Yep.
They will most certainly protect the image, like you said, because women know that their image is everything. So if you got a kid by this dude, this dude, your value as far as the guy that you're trying to, marry, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to have the same value. But when we have it on the flip side, we do have a lot of black women and other women of other races. Like, we do have a lot of kids by a lot of different guys.